So, big news. I am 90% done with this airplane, which means I only have 90% left to go. It's Steve, welcome back to Clear Direct. I'm gonna give you a big update on the interior, which is my kind of big milestone that I'm nearly complete with now. I'm gonna give you an update on the engine. Spoiler alert, it's coming soon. And then I'm gonna give you an update on the hangar and when I'm gonna transition this project from this small garage to a hangar. But I want to also give you an update on what's been going on. I've been flying a whole bunch in the fall to a bunch of playas, right? So High Sierra flying.
They're direct.
They're direct.
Gold pilot.
If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it right here, as well as the Alvord Desert.
What's up, Nickies?
Lead on the left, we're ready.
It will be on the left.
That was such a fun time with a bunch of fighter pilot buddies. I still haven't edited that. So look for that coming soon. I also got this new Hero 11 Black Mini. I'm not sponsored or affiliated, but I'm really excited about this to try it out on the Bonanza. I gotta get it out of Annual tomorrow and go fly to Boise. So hopefully I'll get this on the plane and try it out. What's cool is I got the Max Lens mod, which does some magical things with reference to the horizon. With that being said, let's get into the update on this interior. All right, let's get this turned off, save the battery. Speaking of battery, I have a super easy solution to charge the battery without putting in the heavy battery cables for the remote charging port, which RANS sells as an accessory just behind the firewall. I figured just put in a door in the forward baggage floor. So go ahead and take a look down here, and I'll show you. This is the forward baggage door, which wasn't complete last time I showed you. And this is all custom. So this just flips up and reveals the battery. Right back here, the Odyssey Extreme battery. This is mounted back here for center of gravity considerations for the Titan IO340 heavy engine up front. Super easy access for when I want to put that on a charger. This clearly isn't bolted down, but this was a lot of work. You can kind of see the structure underneath it. In fact, I could probably just show it to you real quick to show you that I did use some structure on top of the fuel tank, the header tank. I just used some smaller angles. I know there's some considerations for if it swells and whatnot, so before I bolt this down and finish this, I'll take a look at my clearances and make sure that everything is looking good in case it swells. But man, this is rock solid. And I wanted to have extra support structure here just because, you know, my 50-pound dog's going to be back here stepping on everything. So that's that. I kind of bent these to have a little bit better of a fit right here. Also put a little bend in the metal right there so that this is a nice finish right here, because otherwise it kind of sticks up and can be a sharp edge. But yeah, the back is pretty well finished. I got the foam all finished in the bottom. That's purely for, well, mainly acoustics, but also for temperature insulation right there. This will be kind of the next step going in. And the instructions don't really have any sort of text in regards to what order to do stuff. So you really got to figure out. And I was jumping all over the place with what I was putting together. And because I wanted to initially start up here, but it just makes sense to finish off the baggage area, work your way forward, put in the flap handle, which this is in. This is just test fit. I'm still cutting on the closeout for the flap handle, but man, this is super secure, feels really nice. But now that that's in and I can get this in, then you can work on this, which I'm excited to finish off the headset and USB. Here are the headset cables for that. So now can kind of finish off the wiring on the interior with that. And then work on these closeouts, and then of course the upgraded rudder tension system right there. Okay, I do want to talk about an Airworthiness Directive before I get into some of the other updates. So follow me over to the workbench. I knew I was going to be rewarded by procrastinating. Not really, I was kind of just procrastinating on the fuel tanks. But I was rewarded in the fact that there is an Airworthiness Directive that's going to be much easier to do without having this installed in the wings. So that's going to come very, very soon because I'm about that point in the build. And also my Pro Seal is about to expire, so I've got to get that ready to go. But what this Airworthiness Directive is, if you haven't heard about it, they're not going to push it to you if you're a builder. You have to reach out to RANS, and their reasoning is, hey, what if you've moved and whatnot? They don't want to send parts just without you confirming. So call them, email them, request them. They're going to be free. It's Airworthiness Directive 142 called Fuel Tank Stiffening Swelling. It's mandatory. And what it is a couple brackets that'll go in above the bottom side of the wing, on the bottom skin of the wing, and up against the aft spar. So this is the wingtip, but on the other side, this is the aft spar. So that'll support these brackets. They'll be riveted in. They've got APQ 42s for you to rivet it in, and that'll prevent any sort of shifting aft of this fuel tank. So we're gonna reorganize the garage here very shortly to be able to work on the engine, because I don't have my hangar yet, and more on that in a second. So, and that will also allow me to get wings up on the table to finish off not only the wing fuel tanks, but also the wing tips, the carbon fiber Aerosport products wing tips, which I'm really excited to install. Okay, that's the update on the airplane. The engine, I've ordered a red cylinders on the IO 340, and then pewter metallic, the natural steel color of the crankcase. And the reasoning is, I thought about doing black and red to match the logo and whatnot, but the reasoning there is to make it easier for inspection. If you have any sort of oil leaks or whatnot, I want to be able to see that a little bit easier. So, and the red on the cylinder on the jugs will look pretty nice. So that shows up in December, end of December. So I'm super excited about that. And then, so now that used to be the long pole in the tent. Now that shifts the long pole in the tent, everything that's holding everything else up, to my hangar. It's being built, they poured the foundation. They're gonna start going vertical here shortly, but I'm not gonna get it until March. So that's no go. I need to start putting on wings in like January so that I can get it painted. I'm going to Italy to finish off the paint scheme in January. I want to get it painted in late February, early March. Well, if I don't have a hangar till then and start putting on wings, that's almost a no-go. Not essentially a no-go. I could get everything painted without it being all together. I just realized I didn't talk about the seats at all. They go together easily. They're pretty light. I like the way they function as far as adjusting forward and aft. The head rests are an option, not aftermarket, but a RANS option. I am tall and I wanted them higher, so I raised them up a half an inch. That's not nearly enough. They don't even really do anything for the back of my head in case of a crash or anything. So I think on the pilot side, I'll maybe fashion up something else, because these tubes are pretty beefy. I can maybe get some more tubes and add another goofy looking headrest back there. But it went together pretty well. There was some elbow grease involved in trying to pull the cushions on and getting them around. Actually, in putting the tube, the bottom tube, this tube down here gets held in by essentially just force, and that takes a little bit of work. But this is the second version of the seat. The original version of the seat, there's a whole bunch of metal, as you can see on S21 Projects YouTube channel. They're doing a lot of work on metal and fit and finish behind here, but there's none. So this did go together quite a bit easier than Tony and his wife's on his S21 project. But I did paint these, as you noticed, so they look pretty darn good. So what's next? Obviously, I have to finish off some of these things that are just placed in here. I'm gonna finish off the flap handle closeout, work on the center console, wire that up for the headsets, and then just keep working forward on all the closeouts. And once the closeouts are done, we're going to reorient everything, get the wings on the table, finish out the fuel tanks and the wing tips, and at that point we'll be getting the engine. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, declare direct.